So my clients are always asking me questions about liability insurance for their supplement company, like how much coverage does the business need, or how do I protect my assets, or what does it take to actually get insurance coverage? Now, to get to these, I want to walk through an application form and highlight 3 really important items on there that could actually impact your insurance costs or getting insurance coverage altogether. Then we're going to talk about how much coverage you should actually get. And lastly, I know a lot of manufacturers offer product insurance for their clients, just like you. So is this coverage a good idea? Well, I have a very particular opinion that I want to share with you, and my answer may surprise you. So be sure to watch the entire video. Let's get to it. If this is your first time here, my name is Brian. Good to meet you, and I'm here to help you start your supplement business the right way from a compliance perspective. My career spans over 17 years helping supplement and food companies navigate FDA requirements, and I want to help you do the same. Okay, with that said, let's kick things off and take a look at an application form for insurance coverage. So I found this site veracity.com through Google. I've never used them, so I have no idea if they're good or not. But I will say that the types of questions they're asking for is very reflective of the insurance questions I've come across in the past. So diving in right here, you need to know your projected sales. The insurance company is going to base their premiums on how much sales you do. The bigger the sales, the more consumers are exposed to your product, and as a result, the higher the premiums. And if you don't know how much you'll sell, take a best guess or use the number in your business plan. And if it's more or less than what you've predicted, you can always bring this to your insurance broker for an adjustment later on. Moving on, choose good suppliers and manufacturers. You'll see that there are very specific questions probing the quality program of your suppliers. Like, do they comply with GMP? Does the supplier have quality control and testing procedures? And if you are using a broker, you want to note this one. They ask specifically for the name and address of the manufacturer. That means of the physical building making your product, not your broker's business address. They're even asking if you have a recall program here, where they ask if you have a specific program to withdraw known or suspected defective product. Now, if you're enjoying the content that I'm sharing with you so far, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you want more industry news and more tips like this, be sure to subscribe to our email list, link down below. Okay, let's keep going. And this is a big one for your product. You need to make sure that you formulate with legal ingredients. So there's a list of ingredients that automatically kills your insurance coverage, like steroids, kava, yohimbave, and pacitine. And I like the last ingredient, which states, any product, supplement, or additive determined by the US FDA at any time to be a Class 1 health hazard, which is why it's so important to ensure that the ingredients that you are using are effective and clean, but also legally permitted. And hopefully you can see why it's important to formulate with the end in mind. In fact, I encourage my clients to create all the label content first, right? Build up the supplement facts panel, the callouts, the claims, what ingredients will be used. You want to capture everything as if it's going to the label designer tomorrow. And then make sure you get it reviewed for regulatory compliance, because we want to capture any illegal claims or claims that require additional testing, or claims that mandate a formula change so that it'll meet FDA and FTC requirements. Identify many of the problems before you've put a deposit down or hired a label designer or actually made any product. It just lessens all the risk and determines if you've got a viable product or not. So how much insurance is enough, and how can you best protect your assets? Well, I actually reached out to an insurance broker, and here's what she said. In terms of how much coverage you need, she says no less than $5 million. In terms of what that policy would cover, it would be product liability, as well as product recall and inventory loss. And how about protecting your assets? Well, her advice right away was to incorporate your business. Now, I realize that this is very general, and that's because I'm not starting my own supplement line, and I couldn't give her more specifics. But hopefully this gives you a starting point. And the big takeaway here is that you should go and consult with an insurance broker. Now, there's this so-called easy solution around liability insurance, and that is to get coverage from your dietary supplement manufacturer. And my point of view is, don't do it. Get your own insurance. Everything is always fine and dandy until it isn't anymore. And that's exactly when you need insurance. Think about it. If there's an issue with your product and your manufacturer is the one that's providing coverage, it's not in their interest to find themselves at fault. It feels more like a conflict of interest to me. And if they don't want to be at fault, their investigation to resolve the product issue is going to be skewed. Also, according to the insurance broker I talked to, if they do find themselves at fault and they have to put a claim in, then there's a pretty good chance that your name is going to get pulled into that claim because the manufacturer is the one that's providing you that coverage, and it could impact your ability to get coverage elsewhere in the future. Here's one more reason for you. Let's just say that you don't like your supplier anymore and you want to move away from them. Well, there could be complications arising from this because you'll still have product out in the market that was initially covered by them. And if you cancel that coverage, does that mean that your products are no longer covered? So as you can see, things get pretty tricky here. And if it were me, I'm going to be going out to get my own insurance. Now, protecting your business isn't just about having good insurance or incorporating your business. Successful businesses lessen their risk as much as possible so that they can take more chances and get their products into national channels. And I'm actually going to show you how to do that while gaining respect from your future business partners here. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.